Good afternoon, everyone. Am I clearly audible? Can anyone tell me? And welcome to today's session. Okay, thank you, Karthik. So today we will cover September news. Yes, had my lunch. Thanks for asking. What about you? Ready for a 1.5 hour session? Okay. So let's wait for 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, let others also come. Then we'll start. Until then, if you guys have any questions, please ask. So let's start. Okay, so just like yesterday, today we will also continue like a marathon series. Okay, July current affairs we have to read. So if you have already done what we've discussed in the previous session, so that covers the July section now, at least from the ARD point of view. And if you complete the ESI current affairs classes that I've done, okay, so that also covers your ESI section. July, August and September, they are the most crucial for the NABARD examination. Okay, so prepare these 3 months current affairs thoroughly. Any other doubt? Anyone have? You can ask me. Then I'll take the doubts only after the end of the session. If you have any questions, ask me. Okay. Hold on one sec. Is the screen clearly visible? Just tell me. I hope it's clearly visible. Okay, so first news is about National Conclave on enabling 2 crore Lakhpati Didis. Okay, so this is a conference or a conclave where actually the main section that this conclave catered to was self-help groups. Self-help groups is the main aspect under which scheme. So as you can see, under National Rural Livelihood Mission, which focuses upon rural development, and it utilizes self-help groups as the main mechanism to increase the development metrics in rural areas. Okay, and this conclave, as you can see, is all about focusing on developing these Lakhpati Didis. And why the Lakhpati Didis? Because what they want is, they want to develop self-help groups in such a manner so that they can generate a sustainable income of at least 1 lakh rupees. Okay, that's why the name Lakhpati Didis. And if they are able to achieve this 1 lakh rupees sustainable income, I'm saying not a 1 year particular income, every year they sustain this 1 lakh rupees income. Okay, then those self-help groups are known as Lakhpati Didis. And the target with which they are working is hold on. I'm sorry for that. So they want to develop 2 crore Lakpati Didis within India. Okay, so that I hope you understand the concept. Here the thing which is we need to remember is 2 crore Lakpati Didis and 1 lakh rupees per household is the corpus that defines Lakpati Didis. Next is 25th World Coconut Day. The only thing that always is an important is that on which day it is being celebrated, September 2nd, and what's the theme? Coconuts transforming lives. Okay, so these 3 things only we need to remember, apart from the what coconut day is this. 25th September to transforming lives. And this is National Conference on KCC for Fisheries. The scroll is not working fine. Okay, so KCC is the Kisan Credit Card Scheme. Okay, so Kisan Credit Card Scheme does provide loans to the farmers. Can anyone tell whether this loan is for working capital or is this for infrastructure development? Who will tell? Kisan Credit Card loan provides credit to the farmers for working capital or for infrastructure development. Who will tell? What do you think is the loan is for? Yes, Rohit is right, working capital. And what do you mean by working capital? How working capital is different from infrastructure or asset development? Yes, rightfully said. Also livelihood as well. So working capital is the basic capital that any farmer require in order to produce the crop in a particular year. This is September. Okay, so for working capital as well as for livelihood, this Kisan Credit Card provides credit to the farmers. Okay, and recently only, that means in 2018-19, it was provided to fisheries as well. Okay, and animal husbandry farmers too. Initially, it was when it was launched in 2016 or 17, I guess. So Kisan Credit Card was only for the farmers, crop farmers. But in 2018-19, this credit facility has been distributed or been extended to animal husbandry farmers as well as fishery farmers. As you understand that it provides working capital loan. Also, how many of you know what's the maximum capital limit provided under KCC? How much maximum a farmer can get? Don't worry, August will be done today only. Yes, Rohit, correct. 3 lakhs. And another feature that you need to remember that it is a form of revolving credit. So revolving credit, as we've already discussed in our ESI current affairs, that it is a main characteristics that you see in credit card or line of credit, where you have a particular amount of credit limit in which you can utilize as much as you can like within that limit only, and you repay that, and that limit is there with you. So does anyone know what's the maximum time period within which they have to repay that loan back? What's the repayment period? Yes, rightfully said. 1 year or 12 months. Well done. Okay, so these are the basic features that you need to do, in order to understand this KCC scheme. So just remember this also, that the national conference on KCC for fisheries happened in Mumbai. Okay, features we've already discussed, that what are there, and as rightfully said, that because it involves credit aspect, then obviously the guidelines will be prepared by Reserve Bank of India. So the Reserve Bank of India prepared guidelines on fisheries, KCC fisheries in 2019. Nothing else is there. Next news is Bengaluru to host India's first World Coffee Conference. And this is not only India's first World Coffee Conference, it is also Asia's first. First time also in Asia. India's first, Asia's first, and what about the coffee conference? And this is the 5th World Coffee Conference happening. And obviously, you have to remember this theme, sustainability through circular economy and regenerative agriculture is the theme of the event. And obviously, they will discuss about various aspects of how do we can, increase the coffee production, how we can sustain the coffee production. Okay, so only these things are important. Please remember this. Next is National Conference for Rabi Campaign 23-24. So as you can see, a conference has been happening for Rabi season. Right now, Kharif season is going on. So this conference has been, you can say, this conference was started because, various targets related to Rabi season were thought about, okay, and various decisions with respect to Rabi seasons were thought about, okay. So that's why all the stakeholders, be it the farmers, be it the institutions, be it the state governments, all sat there and discussed about how do we proceed with the Rabi season. So this is what the conference is all about. But what is important for us to remember is the estimates. And please remember each and every detail here. We will go slow, but remembering each and every detail here is very much important. Questions have directly come in the previous year. So this is as per the third advanced estimates. Okay, so we will see different types of production. So food grains productions in the country is 3305 lakh tons. Okay, and this is higher by 149 lakh tons in 21-22 if you look at from that. Next is pulses and oilseeds production during 22-23. In case of pulses, it is 275 tons, 275 lakh tons. And in case of oilseeds, it is 410 lakh tons. Okay. And what's the next target for the next year? The target for the next year for the food grains is 3320 lakh tons. And in case of pulses and oilseeds, 292 and 440 lakh tons. I hope this is clear. So these things are important. Again, let's repeat this. 3305 lakh tons is the 2022-23 figure. In 23-24, what's the target? 3320. Same case with, if you look at what's the production happened in the previous financial year. In cases of pulses, 275 lakh tons. In case of oilseeds, 410. What's the target? 292 and 440. Now let's discuss about mustard. So mustard production saw 37% jump up to 124.94 lakh tons. And what about rapeseed and mustard? It increased by 28% to 88.06 lakh hectares, and this is with respect to area, not production. And for pulses, even 25 till 25 the target has been given, 325 lakh tons. So as you can see how much push the government is doing in cases of pulses as well as in cases of oilseeds. Okay. And why? Because to reduce import dependency from 56% to 36% in next 5 years. So again, I'm repeating this, or you can just, if you are able to recall, just give me the production target of crops. It's 3 pulses, oilseeds. Let's keep on revising them so that at least we learn here only these figures. What's the 23 production of these 3 entities and what's the target for them? $3305 lakh tons. 3320. Very good. What about pulses? What's the production in the previous year? All of you participate. Well done, Karthik and Rohit. 275, 292, and what, 410 and 440. Very good. Even US has also done very good. Yes. Anyways, because as all of you know, how much factual details is very much important if we are doing the NABARD, and these estimates is also that, very important, because directly questions have arrived on the basis of this. Now let's do next news. World Lung Day. Okay, September 25. The theme is access to prevention and treatment for all. September 25, access to prevention and treatment for all. Since it is, a September news, I guess it's the most latest only. And it anyways tells you about the data of previous financial year. Or, even if, so they're telling you about the details of the previous financial year. So the data must be similar to that nature only. Okay. So World Lung Day, September 25, access to prevention and treatment for all, the theme. And what about this? Coconut Day is celebrated on? Just now we've seen. When do we celebrate Coconut Day? All of you? Yes, very good. September 2. Okay. So in this manner, we will try to revise everything. Next is National Workshop on ENAM 2.0 and Agri Market Reforms. So as you can see, the latest data has been arrived. So remember this data. So yesterday's session, we discussed the data with respect to APMC Mandi, and that was something around 1289 APMCs that were interconnected. But right now, as of now, please remember this data. This is the latest data coming into the examination. 1361 APMCs were integrated on ENAM. Please remember this. Okay. And to further strengthen, 28 new mandis are approved recently for integration, making the total amount 1389. Okay. So this is the new data. We'll go into the examination by learning this data. 1389, 1361 already registered, 28 further registered, and then 1389. So already we've discussed about ENAM, yesterday a lot. Just remember this, SFAC is the implementing agency. Okay. So good work, Sai also. Next is SISTA 360. So although the news is talking about the sustainable aquaculture seminar, okay, but it also talks about a particular platform, the name of which is SISTA 360. Okay, so let's see what's the purpose of this digital platform. So it is designed to provide traceable, transparent, sustainable, profitable aquaculture solutions. So what do we mean by that? So if from end to end, that from start to finish, all the practices or all the processes that are involved in aquaculture, for any farmer that is starting into that, all the solution that will be required will be provided under this digital platform. So he or she can go to that platform, they can see practical solutions already being implemented by other aquaculture entities listed over there. So this is the important aspect of SISTA 360. Okay. Remember this name also. This is incubated by King's Infra. Okay. So since we are talking about aquaculture, can you tell me what's India's rank in terms of aquaculture? Yes, Sai is correct. In terms of aquaculture production, India ranks second. What about fish? In terms of fish production, where does the India rank? Very good. And if I ask you, in terms of inland fish production, where does the India rank? Aquaculture second, fish third, and in case of inland, yes, we are first. Very good. Let's move on to the next news, which is World Environment, and I'm again saying Health Day. Okay, so Health Day is celebrated at September 26th. So this is organized by International Federation of Environment Health. Okay, and the theme is Global Environmental Public Health. And rest need not to remember. You just remember this. And this might get confusing because this is overlap. This is somewhat confusing to World Environment Day, which happens on. How many of you remember World Environment Day? When does it happen? Or when do we celebrate that? This is World Environment Health Day, which is celebrated on September 26th. But what about World Environment? Yes, very good. 5 June. On 5 June, we celebrate World Environment Day. So don't get confused in between these two. A question might come. Next is World Spice Congress 23. Okay, so it happened in Navi Mumbai. And it discussed about various practices that we as an institution or we as a country can do in order to increase our spice production, also increase our spice exports. So as you can see, the value of spice exports, the government has set a target of $10 billion by 2030. And right now we are at current $4 billion. Okay, and for doing so, as you can see, here are various things mentioned, such as utilizing or using Indian diaspora to promote our product, using Indian diaspora to promote India's soft power in not only in terms of practices but also in terms of its products. Okay, so how many of you drink or love tea? Tell me. Rohit says daily. Yes. Sai also says daily. So, since you are so much a good chai lover, tell me, when's the National Chai Day? or you can say National Tea Day. Karthik drinks only one time and knows the day. Very good. So just remember this. September 21 is the National Chai Day. Okay, and we are not talking about International Tea Day. It's a National Chai Day. That's it over here. Next is ICAR SEBA's Shrimp Farmers Conclave. Okay, so this conclave happened in Navsari Agricultural University, Gujarat. Okay, participation of these many people, we don't need to worry about this. Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana was discussed over there. It is an outlay of having 20,050 crores. Okay, and this organization is actually implementing a project genetic improvement of P. indicus. I guess all of you remember this news we've discussed in the previous session, that there was a new shrimp cat, breed was discovered, and they are actually trying to increase. Okay. So outlay, please remember this outlay, 25 crores. Okay, so implementing this project phase 1 with an outlay of 25 crores under PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. So I hope you remember this. Again and again in July and even in September, we have again seen this news. So this news becomes important, okay, in that perspective. Okay, and another thing that was discussed in case of this conference was shrimp crop insurance scheme. Okay, so because as you know, since we are talking about shrimp production, so naturally providing crop insurance is a natural aspect, because we've already provided crop insurance in case of farmers. And the flagship scheme, all of you know, Fasal Bima Yojana. Okay, so 2 MOUs have been signed by National Fisheries Development Board with SEBA and SEBA with Fish Farmers Producer Organization in this context. Okay, let's move on to the next news. World Ozone Day, September 16. What's the theme? Montreal Protocol, fixing the ozone layer and reducing climate change. September 16, fixing ozone layer and reducing climate change. So at the end of this session, we will try to remember as many days as possible. Just right now focus upon that. September 16, Ozone Day. And last, Millets Conclave to be inaugurated by NABARD Chairman Shaji KV. So this conclave happened in Hyderabad. And since it's related to NABARD, that's why I put it here. Okay, and rest everything is very generic, that they discussed about various benefits of millets, and the discussion featured 4 key panel discussions. Okay. Next is seed fund scheme. So Startup India seed fund scheme was announced by the Prime Minister with a corpus of 945 crore fund. Okay, so 945 crore fund have been allocated under this seed fund scheme. As you can see, whenever we talk about seed fund, so it usually talks about those startups that are either starting or have been doing a little bit of time. That's why even in the conditions you will see only startup that are not more than 2 years old can avail the benefits under startup seed fund scheme. Okay, so as you can see, this name is very important. Corpus 945 crores and the tenure is 4 years. Now let's see the features of it. So these funds are channeled towards incubators, okay, and then these incubators will distribute the funds to startups. So you must be wondering, what are incubators? Okay, so incubators are nothing but such institutions that provide support to startups from every aspect of businesses. So it can be VCs or it can be various institutions. Okay, so you might think in that sense. So let's understand the modus operandi of this scheme. So this is the corpus. We have 945 crores funds delivered to incubators. Let's say suppose Sequoia Capital, and then these funds are delivered to startups XYZ Limited, and this startup must be less than 2 years old. This is another primary condition, okay, which you can see here. Eligibility for this fund, not older than 2 years at the time of applying, and rest are generic in nature, that they must have a viable business concept, they must utilize technology that are anyway related to if you are registering yourself as a startup. And other things are that these startups must not have received more than 10 lakh rupees in financial aid from other startup schemes, okay. And important aspect, that Indian promoters must hold a minimum of 51% of startup shares. I hope this is clear. Next is Gopalak Yojana 23. And before going further, how many of you remember the yesterday's UP scheme that we discussed? Can you name the scheme? What was the scheme that we discussed yesterday? Launched by UP government? Yes, Nand Baba. Very good. And Sai, tell me the corpus of that mission. What was the corpus of that mission, or what was the outlay of that mission? Very good. 1,000 crores. Very good, Rohit. Okay, so Nand Baba mission also we discussed of UP 1,000 crores. And there the main entity was cooperatives, okay. But here in UP Gopalak Yojana, this scheme caters to unemployed youth, okay. And this scheme provides loans for these unemployed youths in order to start a dairy enterprise, okay. This is the basic benefit provided under this UP Gopalak Yojana. And the most important aspect or other features, let's discuss them. That bank loan of 9 lakh rupees to such unemployed youth will be provided, okay. And they must establish a livestock farm costing 1.5 lakh rupees for 10 animals to qualify for the loan. That's it. Not much details more than that will be asked, okay. Because since it's a state news, anything that may be asked, they can ask you about the scheme and the state from which it has been. Similarly, Bihar government offer 10 lakh subsidy on mushroom farming, okay. Just remember the subsidy that the Bihar government is giving in context of mushroom farming, but the important portion that we need to do is remember this data. The global mushroom market is expected to grow at 10% CAGR from 22 to 30, reaching a value of $50 billion by 2030. So this is the data perspective from the global market related to mushroom. 10% CAGR, $50 billion by 2030. Next is AI chatbot for PM Kisan scheme. So nothing much isn't there. So it's an AI chatbot. Anyone can go to that particular chatbot and get the details of all the PM Kisan scheme. But since in the exam we can't use this AI chatbot, so we need to cram all the features of this PM Kisan scheme. So come on, tell me what was the corpus of amount annually that this scheme provides to farmers? How much amount? 6,000. Yes. In how many tranches? Are you sure quarterly? Three tranches. Yes. Okay. That means once in 4 months. Not once in 3 months. Okay, Sai? And as rightfully said by Rohit, that right now it is available in English, Hindi, Bengal, Odia and Tamil, but it will be incorporated in 22 languages because it is being incorporated with Bhashini. Okay. This we've already discussed so far. Next is Union France and Union Minister of Agriculture inaugurate a series of transformative initiatives aimed at revolutionizing agriculture in the country. So there are various initiatives, some of them we've discussed yesterday. But apart from it, let's discuss. So first is Kisan Rin Portal, KRP. So it says that it is poised to revolutionize access to credit services. Why? Because it's a digital platform that offers a comprehensive view of farmers' data related to any type of farmer data that is important for the loan disbursement is available on this portal. Now, since you understand what's the importance or what's the significance of this portal, who will tell me what's the purpose behind developing such portal? Recently, government in G20 also talked about a particular concept in credit disbursement where the pilot project was KCC. So what is that concept in credit terms? Anyone? I'll again ask. So in G20 also government showcase a particular concept, not credit saturation. So just listen to me, and that is important for your exam perspective also. So they introduced a concept where in order to provide credit, there exist a lot of hindrances. Okay, so government came up with this concept where all the data required, be it from central government, be it from banking system in terms of credit score, be it from credit agencies, or be it from various other details of farmer, in order to provide credit, it will be there on one singular platform, so that banks can easily collect those data and then provide credit to them. So the credit, sir, just listen to me. I'll just bring you the keyword. So the credit system or the credit disbursement, which had a lot of friction, will now, after utilizing this thing, will not be having friction in between. So what I'm talking about? I'm talking about frictionless credit. So this is the concept that government actually showcased in G20. Okay. So is this clear to everyone? Yes. And the first scheme or the first pilot scheme on which this frictionless credit is actually being done on is KCC. Yes, the buzzword. And the buzzwords are usually get asked in the examination. Okay, so that's why Kisan Rin portal is very much critical in that particular aspect. So let's move on to the next thing, which is Ghar Ghar KCC Abhiyan. And as the name suggests, it's a door-to-door KCC campaign where NABARD will be responsible for overall execution and monitoring of this program, where to increase or to expand KCC to all eligible PM Kisan beneficiaries, NABARD will be going to their doors. So probably the one function to, I hope all of you who go to the NABARD. Okay. Next is Winds portal. I don't think we have to discuss this. We discussed it yesterday. We discussed Winds portal and what two other portals? Does anyone of you remember what two other portals we were discussing yesterday apart from the Winds? बहुत बढ़िया. Yes, Yes Tech and ADAP. Okay. So all these applications are very much important. Please try to remember these now. Next is MSSC scheme, Mahila Samman Savings Certificate. So it's a scheme that government is aiming so that the women feel empowered by providing a scheme where they can invest money and they can get fixed return and become financially independent. Okay, so this is the core objective of the scheme. And before I have even asked, you are already trying to deliver. So let's just first recall every bit of details that we can. Okay, so this was announced in 23 budget. So if this is announced in 23 budget, it becomes highly important if you're talking about giving this year exam. So it's a 2-year period scheme providing a fixed interest rate of 7.5% for the amount that you have invested. And what's the maximum and minimum limit with respect to the amount? It is 1,000 to 2 lakh rupees. Okay, and what's the eligibility criteria? Any woman, including minor, that means any woman above 18 years of age, or if there is minor, a guardian can open the account. And as we've already seen, 2 years maturity period is there. Up to 4 nominees per account they can actually put in over there. Okay. So total investment, maximum limit we've already seen 2 lakh rupees, and there should be maximum 3-month gap between opening existing and new accounts if you are opening account from a same family. Okay. Next is, obviously there are important aspects in case of partial as well as premature closure. In partial withdrawal, you can only withdraw up to 40% of the eligible balance. Next is premature closure, obviously due to account holder's demise. Okay, so or even in case of life-threatening illness, then there are conditions on the basis of which you can actually take the money. So after 6 months from the account opening date, your money will be returned back, but the interest you will be provided with, it will be 5.5%, not 7.5%. And this eligibility criteria we've already discussed, that you need to be up to 18 months. Okay. M&M is asking, national pension scheme age limit is 18 to 70 is there. Okay. And Rohit has rightfully said everything. Next is shrimp crop insurance scheme. These are tongue twisters only. Schemes set to revive by center. Hold on one sec. So this we've already seen when we were discussing about shrimp conference, where a shrimp variety. What was that variety? Does anyone recall? That variety project was initiated under PM Matsya Sampada Yojana. Okay, So what's the variety? Indian white shrimp. No, white shrimp is there, but what's the scientific name? Which we discussed yesterday also. It was P. indicus. Yes. And what's the corpus, or what's the project, amount outlay for this P. indicus phase 1 project? Very good, 25 crores. And this is under PM Matsya Sampada Yojana, which has the corpus of, what is the corpus of this, or what is the outlay of this PM Matsya Sampada Yojana? It is 2500 crores. Okay. So what is the insurance agency that will provide this shrimp crop insurance? It is Oriental Insurance Company Limited. This will provide financial assistance, and the technical assistance will be provided by Central Institute of Brackish Water Aquaculture. So can anyone tell me what's the use of technical assistance in case of insurance? Why do we need technical insurance? Or technical assistance, sorry. So usually in insurance, what happens is to build an insurance contract, the insurance company must know the activity in depth, because until or unless that activity is known by the insurance company, how will they set the premium rates? How do you adjust the risk if you don't know what happens in the shrimp ecosystem? You have to understand what are the various risks associated in shrimp aquaculture production. If you know that due to weather or due to some other things there are risks, or you know that there are either low risk or this is a high risk profession, and naturally on the basis of that you set the premium rates. So now you understand why we need technical assistance in case of insurance. Everyone? So that's why we need even various amount of data even when we decide the crop insurance premium, because unless we understand the weather conditions, we will not be able to set the premium rates, that how the weather will be in this year and how the weather will be next year. So as you can see, this important data that Ecuador have took over India's position as a leading shrimp exporter. So any question comes with a statement of that India is a leading shrimp exporter to China is wrong right now. Okay, next is PM Vishwakarma scheme. I don't think I have to explain this, how much important this scheme is. 13,000 crores. Okay, where other benefits are 15,000 incentive for toolkit, then you have loan facility also with 1 lakh tranche and then 2 lakh tranche, and this is only after you have done repayment, and you will get this at the 5% interest rate, and this is the amount of different traditional crafts that have been included in this. So I guess in terms of production, at least we are, I know the rank, it is second don't know about the global ranking. Maybe I'll tell you in the second session. Okay. But here we are only focusing upon the news that is given over here. Next is Narmada Nidhi, a hybrid variety in poultry farming. Okay. As you all know how much this is important. Kadaknath as well as Jabalpur color. These two breeds have been, combined to produce this Narmada Nidhi chicken breed. And this was developed in Madhya Pradesh for rural sustainability. So just remember Narmada Nidhi combined with Kadaknath and Jabalpur in MP. And what's the benefit of this? First of all, it is developed in College of Veterinary Science and Animal Husbandry, and it can sustain in challenging climatic conditions, and it has a huge weight, 700 to 800 grams. Next is UP achieves 100 plus ODF plus status. So how many of you know what do we mean by ODF plus? Can anyone tell what do we mean by ODF plus? Yes, Rohit is right that not only ODF, you have achieved ODF, that means open defecation free status, but also implements effective solid and liquid waste management system. So that is known as ODF. So right now the news is about UP, that UP recently have achieved 100 plus ODF in all of its districts. Okay, so we've understood what is ODF as well, and these are the top performing states. So you may want to remember if you want to remember, but I don't think it will be asked because it is keep on changing. It's dynamic in nature. Next is second national seminar on social audit of rural development program. So social audit, as you all know, it's an accountability mechanism, or you might say public accountability mechanism, where the public actually audits the functioning of various schemes happening in their jurisdiction. So this is the objective of social audit. So here what's important for us is to remember that this happened in New Delhi, and what was the theme? Reimagining social audit with a view to bring transparency and accountability. Next is the TriFed is launching phase 2 of promotion of tribal products for Northeast region. Okay, so these things are also important because they belong to such sections that comes under our priority when we talk about inclusive growth. So don't think that it is of Northeast, so it won't be asked. So prepare these things also. And obviously this scheme will cater to various activities that promote not only the production of products in Northeast region, but also marketing of those products. Okay, which is mentioned here only. Next is Eklavya model residential school teacher Dr. Yashpal Singh conferred National Teachers Award. So Dr. Yashpal Singh has been received, has received National Teachers Award 2023. Okay, so he belongs to, he is the principal of EMRS Bhopal, Madhya Pradesh. Okay. So MP, Dr. Yashpal Singh, National Teachers Award. But since we are already talking about EMRS, how many of you know what are the various initiatives that the government launched in context of EMRS in budget? Does anyone of you remember? Yes, Rohit is right. Very good. So they will be hiring 38,800 teachers as well as support staff. Okay, this is what the government announced in budget. And this recruitment, it will happen. Will this happen in this year only, or is there any tenure that is provided over there? Yes, right. So 3 years. So it's a target for 3 years. Okay. So don't forget that also. Next is international workshop on climate resilient infrastructure. Okay. So important thing is that there is a compendium which was compiled by UNDP, which talked about significant role of Manrega scheme in strengthening climate resilience of MG Narega. Vulnerable communities. Okay. Next is, these are one-liner news. Just remember that IIT Jodhpur researchers develop novel cold plasma detergent, which is a device for good indoor air quality. Okay, so just remember, anything related to good indoor air quality, just remember it has been developed by IIT Jodhpur if it arrives. Okay, and this may arrive in context of, yes, this PDF is already there in paid course. Okay. Next is India and US to join hands to advance clean energy pace in President Biden meeting. So these both countries have agreed upon a particular aspect of partnership, which is renewable energy, okay, technological action platform. Okay, here they will cooperate on various aspects related to renewable energy. And what are these aspects? Research, testing, advancing, formulating, and initiating. So it is nothing but just understand, or here what we need to remember is that RETAP, or renewable energy technical or technological action platform, is a partnership between India and US. You remember this. Also remembers that on these 5 main themes they are doing partnership, and these 5 main themes only includes end-to-end aspects of any particular technology. So if you're talking about solar technology, you start from scratch, raw materials, and then product development and other things you will find here. Okay. Next is Global Biofuels Alliance gains momentum with Indian biofuel solutions. So Global Biofuels Alliance, it was announced in G20 summit. Okay. 19 countries and 12 international organizations agreed to join the alliance. Okay. So in this alliance, like every alliance, what they will do, they will share technological expertise in order to promote the growth of biofuels. Okay. So this data is important, that in the last 9 years, 71,600 crores the Indian government has provided to our farmers. With E20 implementation by 25, India will save about 45,000 crores. And this is also the amount of saving will also increase when we are actually having a particular alliance, because that will increase our, increase the market to provide our export of these type of fuels. So what is this E20? Can anyone tell? The ethanol, okay, but what is 20? Yes, 20%. So 20% ethanol is mixed in the fuel. Okay, so this is what? A 20% ethanol blending in the fuel. Next is animal husbandry fisheries news. So this news is about the Department of Fisheries has sanctioned 732 artificial reef units across 10 coastal states to revive coastal fisheries. As you all know, all of our coastal fisheries stock has been overutilized, and we have also destroyed the natural coral reefs. So what the government is trying to do is to utilize the concept of artificial reef in all the coastal states of India, and then is installing those artificial reefs in the hope that fish production or fish stock increase over there. So this news is within that context only. So remember this key data: 732 artificial reef across 10 coastal states. So it's a centrally sponsored scheme under Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana with a corpus of 126 crores. Okay. All of these things we need to remember again and again. Very important data. If that, so any project that comes under this flagship scheme becomes anyways important. Next is future of animal husbandry in India, market size, trend and growth. So as per India's 20th livestock census, this is the data with respect to bovines, 303.76 million. We have 74.26 million sheep, 148.88 million goats, 9.06 million pigs. And when we are talking about animal husbandry market size in India, so this is the data with respect to union budget. Please remember this. So union budget this year we've seen 40% increase in the allocation to Department of Animal Husbandry. This year we've given more than 4,000 crores, which is 4327.85 crores. Okay. So what's the question? 44 pages. Okay, I will upload. I'll ask because it's a short form. Now I only asked. Chalo, I'll upload this one also. Okay. Don't worry, we'll upload this in a particular section also. The short form. Another aspect: dairy farming contributes 5% to India's GDP, providing employment to 80 million farmers. Okay. Can anybody tell me what's the target of number of self-help groups under National Rural Livelihood Mission? So that much data in crisp time if you want to revise. So that will only be possible if you look at this particular data in 2 to 3 times. Okay, and when you do that, try to do active recalling. And what do we mean by active recalling? Just sit over there, close the book, try to recall whatever you have learned. Another thing that you can do in order to revise the aspect is categorize your data. When I'm saying categorization of data, learn the data in terms of schemes, such as various schemes that we've discussed right now were related to Matsya Sampada Yojana. So you must have heard about the shrimp scheme. So shrimp scheme is under Matsya Sampada Yojana. Matsya Sampada Yojana 20,050 crores, and then shrimp scheme 25 crores, and then this scheme, latest one. This one, coastal fishing, 126 crores. So if you categorize all your thing, okay, you'll be able to do this. And yes, as rightfully said by Rohit, all this requires hard work. And anyways, you have to do 4 or 5 days hard work, so don't ask for a little bit of relaxation. Next is per capita milk availability in India is 444 grams per day. This we've already discussed. If you see the lecture of livestock statistics that we've done previously. Okay, so in that lecture we've discussed about all these data with respect to especially the meat, egg, milk, All these data we've discussed over there. So you can again go back to that lecture. Next is Best AICRP All India Coordinated Research Project on Wheat and Barley Center Award is being given to Punjab Agricultural University. Okay. Now tell me, yesterday we discussed which university won the NIRF ranking in case of agriculture. Yes, same. Okay, so Punjab Agriculture University have won 2 awards. Remember them. So this is G20 first spouses to witness India's agriculture innovation at Pusa Institute. So Pusa Institute is New Delhi. Okay, and this is just the first lady of every nation going over there to see the innovation being done in India with respect to agriculture. So the institute is important for you to remember. Next is government issues advisory for mandatory stock disclosure of masoor with immediate effect. So why? Because masoor pulse prices has been increasing. Okay. So unless people disclose the stock which they are having, okay, government assumes that they are actually holding that, and government with the notification says that if you do not disclose and if amount of lentils are provided or seen in your houses, so that will be assumed holding, and whatever penalties that are under Essential Commodities Act will be applied to you. Next is Gujarat Declaration. First of all, it is related to WHO. Okay, so Global Traditional Medicine Global Summit happened in Gujarat, and the outcome document came to be known as Gujarat Declaration. Okay, so this was the title, Toward Health and Well-being for All, happened in Gandhinagar. And obviously in Gujarat Declaration, what you can see, obviously generic items, utilizing traditional medicines more, expanding the usage of traditional medicines more, utilizing these digital technologies in order to expand the usage more. So such items. But the important thing for exam perspective is that it happened in Gandhinagar, WHO initiative towards health and well-being for all. Okay. Next is 7,000 plus farmers to benefit from the program launched by Flipkart Foundation. So what's this program? First of all, see who are the partners. Flipkart Foundation along with TechnoServe. So these two agencies are combining in order to launch a program that empower FPOs by providing them various solutions regarding logistics as well as marketing of their products. Okay, and most of the initiatives will be focusing upon states such as Maharashtra and Andhra Pradesh, and this project will be last for 12 months. Okay, so training 8 FPOs in Maharashtra and 4 in Andhra Pradesh. So these are the important metrics to revise, nothing much more than that. So naturally, if you know that Flipkart deals with e-commerce, so obviously it has the capabilities of supply chain, logistics, marketing. So they'll naturally provide them expertise on those aspects. Next is New Holland Agriculture wins the CSR, Corporate Social Responsibility Times Award for its Sustainable Environment Solution Initiative. Okay. Which company? I'm writing actor. Best tractor award won by which company's tractor? Yesterday we discussed. Anyone? Which company's tractor won the best tractor award? Yesterday we discussed in July. Yes, correct sign. The same entity New Holland. Next is a basic data with respect to 5G training labs as well as the application. It will be launched in northeastern states. Okay. Next is Warehousing Development and Regulatory Authority collaborate with Bank of India to support farmers with low interest loans. So as you know, what usually happens, farmers, they go to APMC Mandi or the warehousing. Okay, and let's say suppose they are not able to market their produce just right now, but they have to start sowing the crop of the new cycle. So they need money for that. So what does this WDRA does? It has mandated every warehouses to provide negotiable warehousing receipts. So these receipts can be given to banks. Okay, and these banks will provide the working capital to these farmers. Okay, so this is the main mechanism happening. How does this negotiable warehousing receipts is being utilized so that farmers can get money and banks can get their money after market of their produce. Okay, so this is in that similar context. So with Bank of India especially, this Warehouse Development Authority has been collaborated in order to provide low interest rate loans via electronic negotiable warehousing units. Okay, so important thing for us to remember is Bank of India. Question can come. It is a very important aspect in agriculture as well as rural development. So this is a very important question. Next is Textile Ministry approves 46.74 crore for 80 R&D projects for technical textiles. Nothing much in there. So just remember these two data, 46.74 technical textiles and 18 R&D projects. First green hydrogen fuel cell bus launched by Union Minister in Delhi. Okay, and 15 additional buses will be started in the NCR region. Indian scientist Swati Nayak wins Norman Borlaug Award. Okay, and this award is for field research and application. Okay, and she is the third Indian to win this award. Previous awardee were Aditi Mukherjee in 2012 and Mahalingam Govindraj in 22. And for what she has been awarded? Shahabagi Dhan rice in Odisha. Okay, so 3 Indians. Swati Nayak this year for Shahabagi Dhan rice. So remember this. Next, rice sowing surpasses 400 lakh hectares. So this is the latest data with respect to Kharif crops. Data as on 22nd September 23. So again, let's focus on this data. 411 lakh hectares sowing of rice has been done. Shri Anna or coarse cereals crossed 186 lakh hectares. Sugar cane stood at almost 60 lakh hectares. Kharif crops total at 1102 lakh hectares. Next, first global symposium on farmers' rights. So President inaugurated that, okay, at New Delhi. And this is with respect to farmer right. It is being the first global symposium. Next is unified portal for agricultural statistics. Okay, and most of the data aspect thing that is being done in the country is mostly being driven by Niti Aayog. Okay, as you must have heard about National Data Stack, National Data Center, all of these are majorly the aspect of Niti Aayog. So this UPAG portal or Unified Portal on Agriculture Statistics is a crucial component of DPI. Next, Agriculture Insurance Company of India launches shrimp insurance. Okay. So apart from this, which insurance company was mandated under shrimp insurance, shrimp crop insurance that we discussed previously? Yes, Oriental. Very good. So next is MOU between UNDP and NABARD, and this is for innovations in agriculture and food systems. So just remember, recently to provide innovations in agriculture and food systems, NABARD has signed MOU with UNDP. Okay, it's a 5-year collaboration. Next is Bharat Kisan Manch Accelerate Farmers and Rural Entrepreneurs Digitization, and this is launched in collaboration with MasterCard and AEGF. So these agencies, Agri Entrepreneur Growth Foundation plus MasterCard, they have collaborated in order to increase digitization of farmers, farming sector entrepreneurs activities or services. Okay, so these states are important: Maharashtra, UP and Madhya Pradesh. Okay, NABARD annual report revision class. Okay, we'll see how much we can cover in these few days, but let's finish this current affairs first. Next is for trade in agriculture and animal husbandry, India and Brazil to form joint technical committees. And everyone of us know that joint technical committees is a form of track to diplomacy, okay, where various, or you can say technocrats of agriculture sector come and cooperate in between and then provide or formulate a particular aspect or framework where both countries can cooperate. As you can see, India and Brazil are among the top 2 crop producing nations, or sorry, not top 2, amongst the top 5 crop producing nations in the world. Okay, so collaboration between both of them will obviously be higher. And unfortunately, the father of agronomy, Mr. M.S. Swaminathan, passed away in September. Okay, so obviously their details or their research become important. Green revolution becomes important. Okay, so anything related to green revolution becomes important. So let's see what we can revise. So wheat varieties, Kalyan Sona and Sonara 64 was being developed by Mr. M.S. Swaminathan. Rice revolution IR8, or also known as miracle rice. This breed was also the responsibility, or the key inventor was Mr. Swaminathan or Dr. Swaminathan. Okay, so he emphasized on technology transfer, or he was also the key person in green revolution policy. Next is India resolved trade dispute by cutting tariffs. It is nothing but a dispute between India and United States with respect to tariff. Obviously, both countries, if they can't settle the disputes between themselves, they go to which agency? They go to WTO. I've already listed. Okay, so they go to WTO, and the aspect in which, or the crops in which these countries were having dispute, they actually chose to settle them amongst themselves. So these are frozen turkey, duck, blueberries, cranberries. India reduced the tariffs. Okay. Sorry. Just give me a sec. Next is India's agrochemical industry to grow over 9%. So this is by Niti Aayog member. Agrochemical, how many of you know what are the various products that comes under agrochemicals? Can any one of you give any example? who do we call agrochemicals? Or what do we call agrochemicals? So that is also correct, na? Yes, Sai is right. So let me clarify US. So US is asking about the USA. Okay, so what I told you about that, you know, either the countries can solve the issues bilaterally, that anyways all the countries do so, but if bilaterally it is not being resolved, they go to WTO. Okay, so WTO adjudication happens, and they can also appeal, and when they appeal, then there is an appellate body in WTO. That appellate body is not right now functioning, because that requires a quorum of 3 members. 2 members are already there and third member appointment is not there. And all of this arises only when countries cannot resolve the disputes bilaterally. That means by sitting together. Okay, so this is the aspect. So naturally, when they have resolved the disputes by talking amongst themselves, then there is no point of going to WTO. Did you understand US? Or whatever your name is. Okay, so yes, rightfully said by Sai that agrochemicals, fertilizers and pesticides are agrochemicals. Okay, so this is within that context. So Niti Aayog member says that this industry will grow over 9%. Now the important data that India's agrochemical imports, including raw materials, is 14,000 crores, but exports stand at 43,000 crores. So naturally, this is a, what you can say, surplus activity in terms of foreign exchange reserves. So please remember these two data. Next is Bharat becomes 13th country that can issue internationally accepted OIML certificates. So what is this? International Organization of Legal Metrology. So what are these certificates? So these certificates provide standard weight or measures in the international market. So what do we call standard weight or measures? 1 kilometer is this much distance, or if we see in the local context, we have the concept of tola, ek tola or something like that. So such weights and measures and certificates with those weights and measures can be issued by India, because right now India has become the member of this OIML. Okay. Let's see here also. See, most of the news have been overlapping also. As you can see, Lakpati Didis. This we've already discussed. Okay, so in this, there is a scheme of Drone Ki Udan Drive. Okay, so in Drone Ki Udan Drive, self-help groups have been utilized. And this scheme was launched by Prime Minister. Okay. So here 15,000 women self-help groups will be receiving training and financial support to operate and maintain drones. Okay, so this is Drone Ki Udan scheme. First ever coffee conference we've already discussed. PM Vishwakarma, I don't think we need to do it again and again. Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So in Jan Dhan Yojana, what is important for us to remember is the latest data that has been arrived. And what's the latest data? That 56% of the account, which is 500 million as reported on August, 56% of these accounts belong to women and 67% of the account located in rural or semi-urban areas. Okay. Next is technological interventions in soil health card scheme. So in soil health card scheme, after how many intervals Yes, so after how many intervals does this card gets renewed again and again? Does anyone know? 3 years. Yes. Okay. And there's another provision with respect to village level soil testing labs. It's 3 years. Yes. Okay. So if you can recheck again, it's 3 years only. Okay, so in soil health card scheme, there is a sub-component of it, which is village level soil testing labs. Here, the government is empowering local people to develop testing labs for soil health card scheme, and they have the eligibility persons will be between 18 to 27 years. Okay, these entrepreneurs will be provided various benefits in order to develop this testing labs. So just remember the eligibility age, 18 to 27 years. Okay, so in Jal Jeevan Mission, a scheme of IIM Bangalore in collaboration with ILO talked about how much Jal Jeevan Mission can substantially create 2.82 crore person years of employment. Yes, I correct. Okay, so there is a study of IIM Bangalore and ILO, International Labour Organization, that tells that Jal Jeevan Mission has the potential to create substantial 2.82 crore person years of employment. So everything in this statement you need to remember, because see, ILO is important, Jal Jeevan Mission is important. Okay, so remember this. Okay, next is A-Help program for livestock, and the full form is Accredited Agent for Health and Extension of Livestock Production Program. Here they are actually trying to utilize women to act as agents to fulfill the objectives of whatever is happening under Rashtriya Gokul Mission. So this is the mechanism that is happening under this program, A-Help program. As you can see here, empowering women, enhancing livestock productivity. By engaging them as trained agents. Okay. This not important. And this role played by information technology in agriculture, most of the things we've already seen, that how technology has been utilized. And why I'm saying we've seen everything, because we've seen this KRN portal, we've seen what various aid portal, we've seen tech manual portal, yes tech manual portal, all of we've seen agriculture infrastructure fund. That's why I was saying again and again that most of the things we've already seen. See, winds portal. Now next is Sansad Adarsh Gram Yojana. Okay, so what's the news is all about, that it has adopted 1782 villages after launch of the scheme in 2014. So what is the scheme? So it create Adarsh Grams or Adarsh villages, okay, where each member of parliament adopts a particular gram panchayat and provide fund in order to develop both social as well as infrastructure aspects. So this is Adarsh Gram Yojana. Remember this data 1782 and remember the formation year. Next is National Mission for Clean Ganga, gives green signal for 7 projects, and these projects are valued at 692 crores. Okay, so here the data is naturally important. This is the 50th Executive Committee meeting. Okay, and this include 100 million liters per day sewage treatment plant in Lucknow. In SBI livestock scheme, so this scheme is similar to, no, MP lads is different. This Sansad Adarsh is different. In MP lads, they have to focus on their particular constituency. Okay, but here they are focusing upon particular village. Okay, sign. So in SBI livestock scheme, this is mostly similar to what? KCC scheme. Okay, so here SBI will provide two types of livestock loans similar to KCC loans tailored for animal husbandry and fisheries, and also provide agricultural loans. Okay, and this will be maximum 2 lakh rupees. Next is rearing and maintenance of milch animals under White Revolution, and this is with respect to Rashtriya Gokul Mission, okay, where various activities are listed here which you can see, and these activities are performed in order to increase or taking care of these. So National Artificial Insemination Program. So as you can see, Rashtriya Gokul Mission is a umbrella program, just how Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampada Yojana was there, where various different sub-components of scheme were there. Similarly, in this, you will see various different type of sub-components under Rashtriya Gokul Mission. But for us, the important thing is statistics related to animal husbandry. So this is data with respect to National Account Statistics 22. So value of output of milk has increased by 88.8%. Okay, between 14 to 22. And as per basic animal husbandry statistics that we discussed in our previous session, 1 month previous session, total milk production is 2 to 1.06 million metric tons. Okay, so these data, especially the basic animal husbandry statistics, please remember this. And you can also go back to this session where you will find data not only limited to milk, egg, meat as well. Okay, next is Lifetime Achievement Award for empowering farmers in agri-tech, and award is won by Shiv Kumar S. Okay, and he is the head of Agri and IT Business ITC Limited. And yesterday also I asked you about a particular initiative by ITC in context of agriculture technology. Does any one of you remember? Yes, correct. E-Chopal. Okay. So just remember this Shiv Kumar S of ITC Limited. Next is the Home Minister laid foundation stone of IFCO Nano DAP liquid plant at Gandhinagar. So how many of you know what's the full form of DAP? Anyone? Yes, correct. Diammonium phosphate. So this plant is in Gandhinagar and it cost about 350 crores and it will be built on 70 acres. Okay. So Sikkim Organic Agriculture University will be developed here, and I hope everyone knows that Sikkim is the first organic state. And this question has also been asked in previous sessions. Next is India's first 3D printed post office was developed in Bangalore. Okay. This is the post office, you can see it. And this was developed by L&T along with collaboration with IIT Madras. Next the important thing is G20 Pandemic Fund grants. Okay, so this Department of Animal Husbandry and Dairy has been granted $25 million from the G20 Pandemic Fund. and this is for the improving animal health security for pandemic preparedness and response in India. So important thing is you remember this $25 million given to Department of Animal Husbandry. Now, what was the this year budget provision for this ministry for animal husbandry? Does anyone remember? Just now we discussed. Yes, around 4,000 crores. Very good. Okay. So 4.2 or 4.3 something like that was there. So in this, just remember this National Milk Day that will be celebrated on 26th November. Okay. Nothing much is there. So that's all. And in this award, if you want to know about the grants, that we can also discuss about it, but since this award hasn't been done yet because it will happen on 26th November, but anyways, let's see what are the various awards here. So for first ranker 5 lakh will be given, second 3 lakh, and for third ranker 2 lakh will be given. Okay. So anything you want to discuss, because we've completed? Did we miss something? Hold on one sec. Okay. So there is a lapse in Amrit Sarovar mission for water conservation. Okay, so 8 major states in the country are lagging behind in achieving the target of 75 Amrit Sarovars in each district of the respective state. Okay, so as you can see from the statistic itself, so 1,12,000 identified, the work was only started for 81 and a total of 66,000 have been successfully constructed. And these are the 8 states that are still over there: West Bengal, Punjab, Telangana, Kerala, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Bihar and Rajasthan. Okay, so you can remember these 8 states. So what's the mission? This mission was launched by Prime Minister on April 24, 22. It focuses on water conservation, people participation and proper utilization of soil. Okay. And this is the national target: 50,000 Amrit Sarovars and minimum of rejuvenation of 75 Amrit Sarovars. And as you can see, 8 central ministries, department are involved in this: Department of Rural Development, Resources, Land Resources, Drinking Water, Water Resources, Panchayati Raj, Forest, Railways and Road. Okay. And with what is the features regarding Amrit Sarovar? So it's a pond area with at least 1 acre with a water holding capacity of 10,000 cubic meters. Okay. And every Sarovar shall be surrounded by neem, peepal and banyan tree. Okay. So these are the features of Amrit Sarovar. We've also seen the details of various states that have been lagging in context of this mission. So now we have completed this whole August as well as September, the most important ARD current affairs. Okay. In the paid course, we have PIB current affairs as well as phase 1 CA. See, if you're asking that is PIB only sufficient, and that only depends on what's your competition is doing. if your competition is preparing PIB as well as other things, then you may not clear cutoff. So it's better to do as much as possible till till you are having so much time till the examination. Any other question you want to ask? Otherwise we'll end this session. We have another class. Yes, I know ESI third part pending. So we'll mostly do tomorrow or third or day after tomorrow. See, in economic survey PDF, if that data is the latest one, then you have to do. And anyways, agriculture chapter as well as anything related to animal husbandry as well as rural development, please remember every statistic. Nobody knows, even if they can directly ask that in economic survey this data was there. So at least these three chapters, please do this. Okay, yes. Okay, so thank you everyone. Thank you for joining, and give your best in the examination. At least from the ARD current affairs perspective, we've completed most of the news, important news. Okay, so let's meet in the next session. Thank you everyone.